So let me give you a quick overview on what we are actually doing and working, and then to get into the journey where was the idea created, what was the prototype phase, and why we are a product, and what are kind of the current challenges. Okay, so for now, we can, I think, truly say that we have conquered the German elder care market, meaning that we are, I think now we are live in 6 to 7% of German nursing homes. So I don't know where your parents or your grandparents are at the moment, but if they are in an elder care home, it's becoming increasingly likely that we are working together. And it's really amazing. When we started off in 2015, it was really a lot of negative coverage, and it continued on a lot of negative coverage on elder care, and there are not or less and less people who want to take on that profession, and it's so motivating and inspiring to work with care professionals and enter the profession and give them and work on with their self-esteem and bring something positive, efficient, helpful to nursing homes, and also with the seniors. So who we are. So very briefly, so as a company, we are on the C-level team, coming from a tech background, from consultancy, from physics, and really a deep tech company. And still, all of us are totally into elder care. We worked in nursing homes and try to be as close as to our customer as we can be. Then innovation. So what we have created is we are the only one in the world who can do the 3-dimensional pictures through the normal smartphone camera, as precise as it could be. So on the millimeter, we are we beat the most precise sensor-based system in the world. So that you can imagine, before you needed a gate laboratory consisting of multi-sensors or cameras that was staggeringly expensive, or you have got, for example, a carpet in the Berlin Charité cost you about 50,000 euro. Plus, you need the space for the carpet, plus the professionals who can work with it. And we can now do it in every place on Earth through the normal smartphone camera and get the 3-dimensional pictures of a walking human. And it's patented, it's a medical product, and we have got it validated with the Charité as an external party, so that we and published it in Nature Medicine, I think, so that it's really that we can really set a standard on there. And third, we are working with we are working with many insurance companies in Germany and also worldwide. So Unimed, for example, is in Brazil. We're going live in Switzerland. So there's a lot of partners who helped us to go from a mere idea into a real product. And what the core of our business is always the 3-dimensional tracking system and what we can do out of it. So we started off in elder care. So everybody knows our Sturz app, and it looks like, or it sounds like, a tiny little thing. Nonetheless, what we know from our partners, falls in age, making off 6 to 7% of the healthcare costs of people over 65 years. So it's significant in every developed country. You can look at Germany, Japan, the US, even in Asia. It's really becoming big, falls in age, because it's followed by hip fractures, knee fractures, and makes up a lot of, provides a lot of need in care. And yes, so that is kind of the first product we launched. But I don't know whether you remember when Amazon came into place, they started off with books, and they realized that they can not only have books in their shelves, but can do much more with their shelves and also with their technologies. So they became a marketplace and also a technology company. And it's something very similar to us, because we are now working on a second medical product for clinics and rehab, where we look at people who are supposed to get a hip or knee surgery. So we know that 75% of these surgeries are unnecessary, and how to get a second opinion on it and how to be better in the recovery. So this kind of the next thing we're going to do. And also we provide our technology as a white label solution to online workouts or online therapies. So that when you do yoga or your therapy at home, that you can track, correct, or automatically see how you are doing and progressing. So from this kind of niche elder care thing, what's actually even our fall prevention app is doing really, really well. It's from this niche, it got we grow bigger and bigger in terms of market size. And then you can have a look at our partners in elder care, in the rehab and clinic sphere, as well as in the online therapy space. And how did it all came up? So when I lived in Berlin for 6 years. I worked in the IT sphere. And of course, we know that everybody says at least once in life the sentences, I would love to found a company, but I don't have got the right idea. And if I would have the right idea, I would do it, and blah, blah, blah. And I had a friend of mine who has just quit his job and set up his own business. And we are walking around, as you can see here, München-Schwabing. I think it's one of the most perfect quarters in the world. Yeah, everything is fine. Everything is standardized and clean and tidy. Nonetheless, he said, well, when you look around here, I see so many problems. And wherever you are, you see so many problems. So never say that you don't have an idea. Entrepreneurship is not about having an idea, it's finding problems. And then, of course, you find ideas. Of course, you find solutions. But it's not about complaining, I don't have an idea, but really just decide to be an entrepreneur. And then you try out one idea, the next one, until you have got something that you can bring to the market. And it's a lot about change and not about complaining. And just don't say you don't have an idea. Just get rid of the sentence. And I saw a lot about this sentence, and I said, well, I can't say he's wrong, so why not just trying it out? And this kind of sentence grew in me. I was very, very happy in my job. I was with Microsoft, so very known as a rather good employer. And still, I was wondering, well, what's next? When I turn 40, when I turn 50, how is it to be in kind of this corporate organizations? And yes, I wanted to be more independent from just a big brand. And also be a little bit more in charge of my own destiny, not just on a path that's, well, then you become kind of this manager and and blah, blah, blah. And it's really hard to say why. So I was in my job, I had a lot to do, but still I started off with the idea of, well, in elder care is, of course, a field where we have got increasing problems. And the target group is tremendously growing. And of course, there will be new solutions. Why can I not try, or can I forgive myself if I'm not at least once have tried it out to bring a new solution to this field? And when I look to all the others who are kind of coming up with new ideas, I don't think that's all magic. Why not just trying it out? So I was set free from my job. I spent days working in the elder care services, in the elder care outbound care service that was working with my grandma at that time, and really came up with, well, the first idea was, the woman in charge at this outbound care service said, well, for the most families, it's not about having a full professional coming to their home. In so many cases, it's just sufficient if someone just called them. And then, well, I calculated the case, would be nice to just have got this kind of call service, having professionals to repeatedly call them and check things with them through. And I started off doing interviews. So many interviews with seniors, with relatives, with physicians, with insurance companies, and so on and on and on. And again and again, and listen to all of them. And I always wanted to know kind of what are they kind of feeling, what are they anxious about. And one thing is clear, in Germany, you have got two options. Either you don't care at all, and you don't do anything about kind of what you can get in terms of money, in terms of what you're entitled to, or you want someone coming to your home and get the full service. But we Germans, we never get the call center, even though it's sufficient, even though it's helpful, we just don't do it. And so in all my interviews, this was kind of thrown away, this idea, even though it was a magical good case, nonetheless, and it would truly solve a problem. It's not, there's no user acceptance. And at the same time, I read in The Economist an article that in the UK, this kind of idea is going to the roof, because it's just a different culture, another society, and it's just, Germany is, yes, stupid or whatsoever in its own way. So I had another idea came up. When there's so many technical devices around that could help seniors, why not do a curated shopping shopping company that helps seniors, advise seniors on what to get to their home? So I had a look, I did a lot of research on all these tools around, not just the classical Hausnotruf system, so the classical alarming system that we all know with the red button on the hand. And also this case, the basket size was far too large. We have got €1,000 plus to spend on it, when we have got an average income of 800, 900 euro per month. So somehow there was, we could fix a lot of problems with devices and technical services, but still no acceptance. So one thing was a case, but no acceptance. The other thing wasn't a case. The technical devices, maybe we could have fit them to the market, but so on. I got a lot out of the people I talked to, out of my interviews, because I always came up with a concrete idea, and then they thought, because why it wasn't possible, why they don't like it. Okay. And then learning how to talk to them, I got more and more into what's really a pain point. And it all came together with the topic of falling. It's a taboo. You would never say that you had fallen before, because then your daughter-in-law would say, oh, well, if you go on like this, you go to the stationary or to the inbound nursing home. Please don't make so much fuss. Please don't fall. I can't stand that. For the insurance companies, it's staggeringly expensive. And for the people in elder care, falling is so demotivating, because they have to do more documentation. They can be reliable for falls. They don't get any money back when someone is out of the nursing homes and into the hospital, because then the bed and the room is just empty, and they're just losing money. So a lot of downsides of falls, and especially for the patient itself. Okay, it's hurting, of course. And so I realized, okay, we have something. Oh, sorry, I need to, let's get one further. Yes, so we found something, and I discussed it. And when I came up with, well, we do something in fall prevention, everybody was kind of, yeah, yes, let's solve this problem. And it's not about the alarming system, but it's about It's about really finding the risk factors and reducing the rate of falls and the negative outcomes like a hip fracture. And then, okay, I looked, there were a lot of sensor-based systems. I came from a software company. So of course, hardware is not the answer. It should be a software, it should be a simple app. And I talked to physicians and they said, well, don't invent anything new. The mathematicians shouldn't do anything new. In science, it's absolutely clear. You do fall prevention through a geriatric assessment. Or there's the Expertenstandard Sturzprophylaxe, a big gray book in Germany that you can refer to. And everything is scientifically proven. There's no open answers. It's just look at how somebody walks and ask some additional questions. And also the questions are 100% clear what you have to ask. Okay, I said, well, then the idea is very simple. We need an app taking the video of a walking senior plus the option to answer some additional questions, and then you get your results. At the same time, I had my exist scholarship, and I was close with Fraunhofer ETWM, so the mathematicians in Karlsruhe. And they said, well, that sounds very simple, but it won't work. It's not possible. You can't do the three-dimensional picture out of a normal smartphone camera. You won't find the body. And I was kind of, well, now find something that really everybody is interested in. And now it shouldn't be possible. So kind of naive as I was. So I formulated the mathematical problem and posted a job description and called or emailed and called every PhD candidate in the northern half of Germany. So who was something doing with statistics, stochastics, mathematics, and tried to find someone who wanted to work on that problem. And I found someone. And he had a look at the problem and said, well, nice, but it won't work. But I always wanted to found a company. And he had a look at me. He joined me as a meeting with our Kandidat Ost. It was on 1st August 2018. The meeting went tremendously well. They wanted to have it. We got a clear project plan afterwards, and then the contract should be signed. And he said, well, you can sell tremendously well. However, it won't work from a mathematical perspective. And then they said, okay, well, if that's the outcome, okay, I know then I can sell. I know that fall prevention is a big topic. And then it's okay, then maybe that's the end of my entrepreneurial journey. 2 weeks afterwards, I got an SMS from his side and said, well, I think I've got an approach that it might work. And then a week afterwards, he told me, I've got a solution, it will work. And that's how our data science team, that's how we start our data science team from scratch. We found a solution, and a solution that's not only about labeling data somewhere in Eastern Europe, but really to be able to find every single point on the body and being able to precisely calculate it. And with this, we did our fall prevention app. And even though this next slide might look a little bit awkward to you, we are tremendously happy and proud about it. We beat the gold standard in science, so the gate-ride system, this kind of the mentioned carpet, which cost you 50,000 €1,000. You can find one in Charité. I know there's 1 or 2 in Bavaria. So maybe we have got 5 to 10 in Germany overall, but you can easily calculate how many patients of Parkinson you can bring to a hospital, having walked through that carpet and getting back to their home, and how many you will lose on this kind of journey. And now we can do it with a normal smartphone camera wherever you are. So we really solved that problem, and I was kind of, hey, wow, cool. We got a medical product. So now we are an official medical device. But then came the other challenge. And that was this. So we started off in an elder care sphere where a lot of professionals were really, really, really frustrated. And when we enter the home and we're sent there by their managers and so on, and had good conversations with them, we got the whole frustration out into our face. And everything that was coming new, it was all wrong. We had no idea, we had no clue and whatsoever. We got a scholarship from the Malteser at one of the charity to really dig deeper into this. And how to really turn the table. We from the normal IT companies, we learn software as a service. So we are a software as a service product. That you need a customer success team doing the introductions, being very, very close to the customers. And I think 2 days ago, there was Günther Wallraff did a documentary on a nursing home. And I would say, so 4 years ago, he did another one. You know, this is a German author who do kind of scandalous journalism, and he had a focus on elder care in Germany. And actually, we are live with the house he visited 4 years ago. And this house was so thrown they were so sad about all this. And I didn't know that it was, I have never seen the documentary, and I didn't know that it was this nursing home. And at one time, so we are live with them, the therapist came to me and said, well, Diana, you don't know what this all here meant to us, to the whole team. We were the last shit in our village. Wherever we came to supermarket, we were just the shit in our village. And now we are again somewhere. They had from our public TV channel, ZDF Morgen Magazine, visited them to broadcast their work. Then so the work with our app, they had got from the German Bundestag, the Greens came there with a whole bus of all members. Then we had a huge magazine from one of the biggest insurance companies published, I think 6 pages article on them. The biggest competitor went there with their total C-level team to visit them and see and see how they work with our app. And finally, this therapist had the possibility to do a fall prevention analysis with our Ministry of Health, so with Jens Spahn. And so they really developed a different work style with our app, and also a different self-esteem and self-consciousness. And it's so much fun to really work with them, get their feedback, to know how it works within their facilities, and also get feedback from all the others with whom we are, or with which we are live here in Germany. And it takes time, and I would still say, or we really try to find out, can we work with this group or with this nursing home, because where the leadership team, and when it comes to digital solution, it's always a transformation where the leadership team is not behind it and really onto it for the long way, it won't work. And it's really, there are so many nursing homes in Germany. We have a long waiting list, that now it's really fun. And the whole team at Lindera is really happy to be part of kind of this journey that elder care is making at the moment. Yes. And yeah, so to our company, it's our mission. So we started off with this kind of fall prevention app, and then there were kind of the The Chefärzte, so the doctors, the leading doctors from the hospitals were kind of calling us and said, well, you know, not only can apply your app in elder care, you can do much more about it. We also want to have it in our hospital. So from a mere company in elder care, we became a tech company, and we worked on our mission and see what's driving us is how can we push the limits of every human being, so that it doesn't matter whether you are young and doing workouts at home, whether you are thinking about the surgery or in the phase of recovery, or where you want to do fall prevention. In every phase of life, we know that with the analysis and a tailored individual recommendation afterwards, you can get more out of what you are possible. So imagine you have got your personal trainer, your personal therapist always on your side. And that's exactly where we want to help patients as well as professionals. And yeah, this is so our idea where we want to solve a problem. So that's just our team in pictures. Yeah, and the coolest thing is absolutely on the right. So Arash, our chief AI scientist, who is working on the cutting edge of what's there in science. So we are always looking, hey, what's Google doing with Google Brain or with TensorFlow? What are the latest paper in computer vision? And it's really incredible, but because we get so many applications for our data science team, as we are one of the very few destinations where you can really work on the edge of science. You are at the company side, so not in science, and doing real products, or your work is turning into real products, and at the same time it's deep tech on the cutting edge, what's possible at the moment, yeah, from a tech perspective, and not just pushing numbers back and forth. So even though elder care doesn't look that sexy, we get a lot of people coming from the gaming sphere to us, because it's from the science problems, it's more interesting. Yes, and how does it work, our company? So we have got the data science team that's working on the 3-dimensional gait analysis. Then we combine it with regulatory affairs. So if we go back to the time in München, Schmaring, working around, and if everyone had said to me, well, you need kind of scientific publications, you need a compliance manager, or call it a regulatory affairs manager, I would say I would never do it. And still, that's what we are today. And it's amazing to bring the world of all these ISO standards together with kind of a really leading data science team, and somehow it works. It also set up a part. We see that Apple, also Google, are both working on gait analysis. However, no one does it in the niche of really what you need in healthcare. So with the precision, that's a medical product. Then we put a patent on it, and all this combined gives us some leeway, some space that we can survive in our niche and are not replaced very easily, not at all. Yeah, and then our customer success team, as we need to work really closely with the care professionals. Yeah, I told you about the areas we are into. Yes, I think this is from my side.